Well, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Blended Mix Life. And today we have a young author in our family that we want to interview today. We actually have co-authors here, but this week we just released a brand new book. Elias, do you want to tell them the name of the book that we released?
Yes, it's called Buddy, the dog who found his family.
What? Here it is. Elias, 8 years old, just released his very first book. And I'm telling you what, we are just ecstatic over here.
So exciting. It's been so fun to be in this process with Elias and to watch this book come to life because it's gone through so many different stages. It's amazing to be here right now.
Before we get into how this book came about, I want to just talk to the star a little bit. Elias, on Monday you went to school, you have a book in your hand. I've never had that experience before. What has it been like for you to walk into your class with your name on a book? Like, what are your friends saying? Are they ordering the books? Tell us a little bit, Elias.
Yes, I had to give several people the title of the book because they wanted to order it, and one person tried stealing it because they wanted a free copy of the book, and I just said, you can just go order on Amazon. That's all you have to do.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Yes.
Good answer.
It's good.
Didn't I hear something about you needing a bodyguard? What was that all about?
Oh yes, there was this one person who went on the internet and typed me up, and then just because I had a book, he just wanted to, and two of my friends just wanted to be my bodyguard.
Your friends want to be your bodyguard. Did they type your name into Google?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? And then when they typed your name into Google, what did they find?
They found a picture of my book and me and Evka's birthday.
Nice.
Wow.
You and Evika's birthday was a very cool occasion, very popular post on our blog. So that's pretty exciting. I would think, based on what you're saying, I would feel like maybe kids at school feel like you're famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see this smile on this face?
Is that fun? Yeah. I thought so. Yeah.
Well, I want you guys to talk about the process, both of you, because you guys are co-authors. I'll be kind of like the interviewer right now, because we want our audience to know. I know a lot of people ask, like, how did this come about? How does an 8-year-old write a book? How did this started? So Meg, you want to jump in and tell us a little bit how this started?
Well, I'll have Elias share first, but I will say that books are never born by themselves.
Right.
I've helped almost 20 authors be self-published, and I've seen the process that goes into it. It always takes an entire team of people. That was Buddy like shaking his head because he agrees with me.
Agrees.
This was definitely a team effort, a family effort, but the whole idea of a book about Buddy was born with Elias. So Elias, take us all the way back to when you first met Buddy and what inspired a Buddy book.
Okay, so when I first asked about how was Buddy's life, I started tearing up because I didn't know that Buddy went through so much hard things. And then I got inspired by Aunt Becca and my sister Eliana. And I just decided to write a book about Buddy because,
He's mentioning Aunt Becca's books about her cat, and Buddy is actually mentioned in these books. So he's kind of a side character in these books. He's somebody that the cat really can't stand, and then she kind of becomes friends with him. So when my sister, Aunt Becca, published these books, the kids were all inspired. They were really taken up by it because we saw her have book signings and having the table just stacked up with books that she was packaging and shipping out to people. And so it was pretty, after that, all of the kids were writing more books because it was right in front of them. They were meeting an author, they were seeing the process for themselves. And this book when we finished this book about Buddy, when it evolved into a chapter book, because that's not really how it started out, but when it evolved into one, we wrote it and included the cat, because the cat is a part of Buddy's life as his feline sister that he tolerates. They both just tolerate each other. And so you really can see an entire series, you can read an entire series on a cat and a dog that's pretty fun.
Yeah. So Elias, you know, when you started writing the book, obviously it wasn't a book. What did the initial concept, what did the book look like before? Was it on cardboard? What was it on before you came to this?
It was on a piece of paper that I made some pictures of, and one night when I realized that I couldn't find it, I was looking for it almost all day, and yeah, I was started to get really sad because I couldn't find the copy of the book.
Yeah.
Before you had written all these pages and drawn all these pictures, you'd stapled the book together. Before it got lost, you read it to all of us as a family one night when we were doing our family time before bed. And we loved it. We just all loved your book so much. So then when it somehow got misplaced, and we'll never know how, but I remember all of us looking for it, and I felt like so horrible that somehow this book got lost. So then when I saw how sad you were, it just totally broke my heart. So I said, Elias, I'm going to help you put your Buddy book back together. We can do it. I can help you.
And
that's how it started.
That's how it started. So again, you know, it didn't start like this. It started on pieces of paper. I remember seeing them and Elias stapled the papers together and called it a book. And then you read the book to us. Then the sheets of paper got lost. To this day, we don't know how it got lost. But it broke Elias's heart really. I mean, his heart, he was just really sad. And then Mama Meg committed to saying, hey, I'll help you put this thing together. And then you started telling them a little bit more about Buddy and how Buddy was found. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so initially when I first met Buddy, it was love at first sight. My brother came and he wanted to give Buddy to Emma as a Christmas gift. All of this is in the book and it's really cute. What really drew me to Buddy was also how he'd been found and he'd been neglected along with his brother. It was a really sad story of this cute dog. I mean, he's the cute. We might be biased, but we think Buddy is the cutest dog to walk the face of the earth. How could you not love him? And when he was a puppy, he was even cuter, because puppies are always cuter. So yeah, when Elias had such a big interest in Buddy, I just, naturally started sharing with the kids how Buddy had been found, he'd been rescued, and I wasn't expecting everybody to start crying because everybody was so touched. And so then I thought, this is actually a really sad story that has such a happy ending, because now Buddy belongs to a family of 7 humans who love him very much. So it's this sad story that has a happy ending. This would be really great to include this in the Buddy book. And that's how it really grew into more than just what it initially it was about his life now with all of us and his funny humans and the cat he doesn't like and all these things. But we really went backwards and spent several chapters telling his backstory. And I called my brother, I did research, I talked to people, I found out more about his beginning in life, and then wrote about it. So the first half of the book really is about Buddy's backstory, and then that's how this book became a kid's chapter book.
Wonderful. Well, we want to give you a taste of the Buddy book. And so we're going to have the young author, Elias Belfon, read the introduction, and then I'm going to have his co-author read maybe chapter 1.
Sure.
All right, Elias, I know the audience out there are dying to get just a little bit of taste.
Hi, my name is Buddy. I'm a Beagle mix dog. When I was born, no human wanted me, and life was really sad for my brother and me. Let's just say that things definitely changed for the better. Now I belong to a family full of pretty incredible humans. There's a cat too, but we're not going to talk about
We're not going to talk about her, right? At least not now.
Oh shoot! Here I go giving away the best part of my story. On the first page, once you finish reading this book, you understand why I'm so happy now. I'm the luckiest dog on the planet. Welcome to my story.
Wow, beautiful.
Good job, Elias.
Good job, Elias. Woo woo. All right.
So we have the introduction, and then we have a page that introduces our family and extended family, at least the ones that appear in the book. And now I will read the first chapter. Chapter 1, The Two Pups. Flash, flash, crack! Flashes of light shot through the dark night sky. The trees along the forest edge stood very still, like they were waiting for something to happen, or maybe they were hiding something. Lightning struck again, illuminating a small farm and its tiny house. Behind it, hiding in the shadows, was an old barn that looked deserted. Between the house and the barn stood a solitary tree under which two puppies were huddled together. They were tied to the base of the tree with chains. Whenever the thunder cracked, sounding like a deafening boom, the smaller pup let out a frightened yow. I don't want that loud sound, he whimpered, or the bright lights. It makes my head hurt. His big brother, who was also afraid but decided to be brave for his smaller sibling, moved closer to him to provide comfort. He said, There, it'll be all right. Just stay close to me. The two puppies didn't have names because no one wanted them. Soon after they were born, the farmer tied them to the tree and left them there. Every so often he threw some scraps of food their way. Their only shelter was a piece of plywood leaning against the tree. At least we have each other, the older dog thought to himself. He cuddled closer to his brother, which he often did on such nights, since it was so cold and dreary. When morning finally came, the puppies stretched as the sun slipped in from behind the trees, reaching down to warm them with its bright rays of light. Both dogs wagged their tails with happiness because the storm was over. On this particular day, the puppies were to meet a new human named Jeff. Jeff lived in the next town where his family owned a grain mill that supplied local farms with grain and feed for their livestock. Summer break had just begun, and that made Jeff happy because he loved spending time with his dad. He hopped into his dad's truck as they left to make their delivery. But when they pulled into the long driveway, Jeff saw the puppies under the tree. As soon as they stopped, Jeff got out of the truck and ran over to where the puppies were. He could tell they had been tied up for a while. They looked dirty, hungry, and very, very sad. The scene pulled at Jeff's heartstrings. It seemed as if they were begging for a place to belong and for someone to take care of them. Jeff had always wanted a dog. It didn't seem right for these two puppies to be tied to a tree. He watched them play with each other, tumbling around in the dirt. Then he got an idea. Maybe, just maybe, the farmer would let him adopt the puppies and give them a new home. And that's the end
of chapter 1.
Yes. You
Beautiful.
have to buy the book to find out what happens to Buddy and how he finds his new family.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Books are available. Where can they find your book, young author?
They can find my book on Amazon. It is, you would see that it was top one on a kids book and top one on, I forgot the other ones.
Yeah, a couple categories, adoption and
Step families.
Step families, blended families. Today, as we do this interview, a few days after launch, it has been it's the 6th day where this book has been at the top of 4 categories off and on Amazon as a #1 new release. 6 days in a row, which is really cool.
It's been fun. I know for Meg, it's been fun putting this together. Thank you so much. This was a lot of work, but I was talking to one of my colleagues at work today, and I was telling her, if this book had never gotten into the wall, never made it on Amazon, the smile that we see in this boy's face, right, Elias? When he goes to school with the book in his hand, when he comes home, the confidence, the joy, it's worth it. If you have kids, you know exactly what we mean. It's worth it. So as parents, we want to encourage you, if you're a mom or dad, guardian, stepmom, stepdad, uncle, niece, whatever, encourage your kids, push them, because the smile on their face is worth it. It's not easy, it's not an easy process, but it's still worth it. And we're really proud of Elias for sticking with it, and the book has been
Definitely. Yeah, it's amazing. So proud of you, Elias. You worked hard and you were very patient because you were always asking me, is my book done yet? And I would have to tell you, well, it's not done. The illustrations are not done, or it's at the editors. And so you waited a really long time. So good job. The best things in life are worth waiting for, right?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks again, and the book, as we said, is available on Amazon and Kindle as well, paperback and Kindle. So thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.